The Disney Channel. The most monumental network in children's television history, creating pop stars, actors, and meat shop owners as far as the eye can see. In the early 2000s, this formula caused the Disney Channel machine to explode in popularity like no one had ever seen. One channel was now deciding what makes a good role model for children. Then they would cast a child to play that role, lock them into an airtight exclusive contract, and would work their newly created role models as hard as humanly possible to get as much longevity out of each star's career as they could. This new direction would generate billions for the Disney Channel, caused by one extremely successful musical franchise that would shape the network as a whole and would change the entire entertainment landscape. One star would rise higher than any Disney star before, dominate the music industry, and become a Disney Channel staple. Ashley Tisdale would star as not only Maddie in the wildly successful Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Candace in the longest-running cartoon on Disney Channel, Phineas and Ferb, but she would tour and produce as the most iconic character in Disney Channel history, Sharpay Evans.
I'm Disney royalty.
Hi, I'm Jake, and welcome to Chaotic Web. Today I'm going to be diving deep into Ashley Tisdale's incredibly prolific career with the Disney Corporation, the dark and mysterious pitfalls that came with it, and just how hard Ashley worked being a part of the golden age of the Disney Channel. But before I get into that, I want to thank today's sponsor, Incogni. Every single day, your personal data is being collected by a huge number of companies. Your name, address, email, social security number, and so much more. Your data is then being sold, purchased, and traded by data brokers. Ugh. Now, while some companies may use your data for targeted marketing to sell you products, other companies may be using it for more sinister reasons. And if one of the many companies that have your data were to be hacked, that would put you at a great risk for identity theft. That's why I signed up for Incogni. I found that 117 data brokers had my personal information. Now, Incogni will make these companies delete your data. There are laws that allow us to have this information deleted, but to do it on your own would mean writing individual letters to each company. And well, that could take years. Incogni handles the hard part for you, and they follow up to make sure your data has actually been removed. You can even track Incogni's process right to your online account. Now, to sign up, click the link in the description box. The first 100 people to use the code Deep Dive will get 20% off Incogni. Now, I also wanted to let you all know we are doing a giveaway for a pair of Apple AirPods Max headphones. Shelby and I use these headphones daily, whether it's to edit deep dive videos or listen to music. To enter, follow me and Shelby on TikTok and make sure you are subscribed to Deep Dive. And comment below with your social media handle so we can reach out to the winner. The winner will be drawn at random once we hit 250,000 subscribers, so be sure to check the description box for details. Anyway, let's get back into the video. On July 2nd, 1985, Ashley Tisdale was born to her parents Lisa Morris and Michael Tisdale in Monmouth County, New Jersey. She had an extremely early start to her career, as just 3 years after she was born, when she was at the mall with her family, she met a man that would change her life forever. Bill Perlman signed 3-year-old Ashley Tisdale as soon as he could and immediately began pushing her on to as many commercial auditions as possible. Ashley was placed in over 100 commercials across the country, and her star immediately began to rise. Ashley began appearing in different musical productions, including The Sound of Music, and landed the role of a lifetime at only 8 years old.
Castle and Cloud, we're cleaning up the ashes, and then suddenly we just get in our mind, we look up, and then we sing Castle on a Cloud, and Fontaine's dead by that, and we go, there's a lady all in white, and we're talking about Fontaine. There's a lady all in white, holds me and sees I love fly.
Now, after playing the part of Cosette for 2 years, Ashley moved on to a production of Annie in Korea. However, Ashley has maintained that she had a somewhat normal childhood, as she always went to normal school and had typical teenage jobs growing up.
Here in East Lansing, their classroom was unpacked from its boxes into a third-floor dance studio. Each of the 4 kids had assignments from their own schools to work on.
Even though they're all in 4th grade, they're all doing something different. So when we do math, one child could be on multiplication tables, another child could be on division, and within a half an hour, we've done 4 different topics. And math. And then we do that again for spelling. They all have different spelling lists, social studies, and science. So it's a long day.
But as the late 90s were approaching, the Tisdale family relocated to Los Angeles, California to try and find more work opportunities for Ashley. This elevated Ashley Tisdale's career to an entire new level, as she was cast on multiple CW and WB productions, including Seventh Heaven and Boston Public. She even voiced the lead Blueberry Scout from Disney Pixar's A Bug's Life. Now, this would foreshadow Ashley's career in a way she, her family, nor Disney could have ever imagined. As in 2005, Ashley Tisdale was cast in a new live-action Disney Channel sitcom that would be called The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
This March, look who's coming to Disney Channel. The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, a brand new Disney Channel original series. Coming to March on Disney Channel.
Your place to stay. And bring a family. The Tipton is the place to stay. Check it out.
Now, if you've seen our video about the Disney Channel machine, you'll know that Ashley Tisdale was originally cast to play the role of the heir to the Tipton Hotel fortune, London Tipton. However, last minute, the producers decided to switch Ashley Tisdale's role to Maddie in favor of Brenda Song playing London, and the part of Maddie Fitzpatrick originally went to Phil of the Future star Brenda Song. Brenda told W Magazine it was Ashley Tisdale who tested for the role of London Tipton. They were going to go full true Paris Hilton parody, and when we read for the roles, they were like, no, actually you guys switched parts. Hollywood wasn't doing that then. Every audition was like a job to me. I didn't get a lot of auditions. It wasn't until I got into the Disney family that they were so very open. And Ashley Tisdale assumed her new role as Maddie Fitzpatrick with ease and showcased her versatility as an actress.
So I'm so grateful for playing those roles. Like at that time in my life, that was like what I wanted to do. I was like, I need to be on Disney.
The show would also act as the testing ground for an entire new generation of child stars, including but not limited to Victoria Justice, Nathan Kress, Rainey Rodriguez, Moises Arias, Vanessa Hutchins, Daniela Monet, Drew Seeley, and global sensation Selena Gomez. Emma Stone even played the voice of London Tipton's dog, Ivana. The musical guests were out of this world as well, including Jesse McCartney, Chris Brown, and Disney's own Cheetah Girls. This was the dream team of actors who brought The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody to life. But behind the scenes lurked a few key individuals that would cause The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody not to be so sweet. The Disney Channel was building Dylan and Cole Sprouse's show into an empire, but underneath the shiny hotel sets, millions in merchandise, and dozens of breakout teen stars was a dark secret. It's no secret that Hollywood is chocked full of dangerous executives working on children's TV sets. And unfortunately, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody was no different, as London's mirror was more sinister than it seemed. For an in-depth look on the dark side of Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, be sure to check out the first episode of the Disney Channel machine, as Shelby exposes some really dark secrets of the Disney Channel. Now, this was a major step for Ashley in her career, as she would help usher in the ultimate golden age of the Disney Channel. Ashley didn't know it yet, but she was beginning to break through to the mainstream and become a household name. Ashley Tisdale was rocketing off to new heights her previous career in commercial acting had never seen before, as Sweet Life of Zack and Cody became an instant Disney Channel classic as soon as it premiered in 2005. Dylan, Cole, Brenda, and Ashley were now in the households of nearly every cable-paying customer in the world, and with that success came an entirely new lifestyle for Ashley. She went from lucrative obscurity to her name being a part of the largest children's empire of all time. The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody premiered with 4 million viewers, making it the most successful premiere for the Disney Channel in 2005. The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody was the launching pad for Ashley's career in music and acting. She went from working on commercial sets to a red carpet regular, but nothing could have prepared Ashley for what success was to come, as very shortly after Zack and Cody began, she would audition for the biggest Disney Channel original movie of all time, High School Musical. She ended up landing the most iconic role the Disney Channel has ever produced, Sharpay Evans.
And everyone says I look exactly like Sharpay.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
So Miss
Musical was my first movie, so I still have Sweet Life on my second season, and I'm coming out Disney Mania 4, and I just recorded Kiss the Girl for Little Mermaid DVD special edition, and just kind of going into the sequels of High School Musical.
Can you believe how big phenomenon High School Musical has become?
It's amazing. We never thought it'd be this huge, but it's awesome.
Wrapped around the building, fans waiting to see the cast of the High School Musical, and they're out in the center of Times Square.
We have to thank Disney Channel for making this all happen.
So the first ever winner for Teen Choice TV movie.
And your choice, TV, comedy, or musical is?
High School Musical 2.
High School Musical!
How are you?
I'm good.
This High School Musical thing is some phenomenon, isn't it?
It is. It's been crazy.
Did you have any, I mean, I know it's a question that people, did you have any sense it would be such a hugely popular?
No. I mean, we knew it was going to be really good for the channel and stuff, but never this big.
Did you, now you're on the Disney Channel already,
I
so.
am on The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Did you have the audition for this part, or did they just give it to you?
I did. A lot of people think it was given to me, but, you know, I had a screen test.
I think it was given to you.
No, I had a screen test for about 6 hours. It was like a Broadway musical kind of screen test. So,
really?
Yeah, we had to sing, we had to dance, we had to do the scenes, and I had to wait 2 weeks to find out, so it definitely wasn't given to me.
Oh, really? You had to wait. Why did they do that to you?
They wanted me to sweat.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
They're cruel people at Disney, you know. I know we get the idea that it's some sort of magical kingdom, but it really isn't.
No, I love them. I mean, I'm really grateful for them, and that they've, you know, made me where I am today, so.
Yeah, sure. We'll talk after about that. Now,
The Disney Channel never expected High School Musical nor Ashley Tisdale by proxy to change TV history in the way it did. Suddenly, the Disney Channel was chocked full of musical breaks in nearly every Disney Channel property. But how did this happen? The entire idea of High School Musical was a spawn from the musical episodes of Even Stevens and That's So Raven. After those specific episodes topped Disney Channel's ratings in a way they had never seen before, they leaned into it. And it really paid off across nearly every category. Merch and album sales were through the roof, and Ashley Tisdale's face was plastered everywhere. Whether it was for The Sweet Life or High School Musical, the marketing campaigns Disney Channel invested in for the projects Ashley was a part of made her a reoccurring part of everyday culture. But unfortunately, this would cause Ashley to spiral into a true Disney career-long identity crisis.
It's so surreal. Like a couple years ago, they only knew me by my character's name and stuff. Now they know me by Ashley, and it's exciting to feel like the energy and like the support from those fans and stuff.
Now, this was a huge time for High School Musical, and Sharpay was a main character.
It's fun to play the villain. I think it's cool because there's so much to that character. I think that obviously, like, I am not like her at all, and so it's cool to, you know, acting is all about stepping into someone else's shoes.
Look at her. Oh, look at her.
This should be the opening shot.
I think that Ashley is more like Sharpay than she thinks she is.
Obviously, like, I am not like her at all.
She's the sweetest, most adorable person. I definitely think that how snappy and glamorous Sharpay is, I definitely think Ashley is a little bit of a Sharpay, and I'm kind of scared that she's going to beat me up after saying that. She's going to be like, I'm not like Sharpay, which will prove my point. Sorry?
Lucas?
Most like their character has to be Ashley, bar none. No questions asked.
Ashley is kind of like Sharpay. Sometimes I'll hear her say things that would totally come out of Sharpay's mouth.
Yeah, I think that you'll find it more attractive if you just pull back a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah?
I always find myself attractive, but
I know. I hear that. I just more attractive, even more so.
The High School Musical cast's albums were plastered across the Billboard charts, and they were instant celebrities. This had record labels on the prowl to sign each and every single student at High School Musical's fictional East High, and Ashley was a prime target. This was the golden age of Britney Spears, so artists like Jessica Simpson, Paris Hilton, and Hilary Duff were topping the charts with Britney-like melodies and beats. thus making Ashley Tisdale's character of Sharpay a viable option to labels for their Britney Spears competitor. Her fans loved her characters Maddie and Sharpay, but these were also their first impressions of Ashley as a singer and actress. This aided her career as the character was created by executives to appeal to the masses, but also caused fans of Ashley to project the characteristics of her characters onto her as a musical artist. Hollywood Records, Disney's label, wanted to market her towards her existing audience of children, whereas Warner Brothers wanted to market Ashley as an adult artist. She had two huge options and a major decision to make. So she called her friend Christy Carlson Romano from Kim Possible to get together over lunch and ask her advice on which label to choose.
She had just finished High School Musical or whatever, and we didn't realize that it was going to be as big as it was, but her mom and her had lunch with my mom and me. I think we just were catching up and all that stuff. And then they were asking questions about how to sign a record deal. They were thinking about signing with Walt Disney Records.
Ashley would end up choosing Warner Brothers for her new album in favor of a more adult image.
I think she ended up signing with Warner, and that was, for her, I think a great move because she didn't have to get stuck doing only Disney stuff. Then she went on tour with Disney and she had this great career as a recording artist. She's performed for many, many people in many different ways as her character in High School Musical, but also as just a rock star, basically pop star, rock star.
But introducing Ashley Tisdale to the world as a singer would prove to be harder than record labels thought. While her first album debuted to 500,000 copies, all while she was filming Zack and Cody and High School Musical, her record label was expecting a much larger debut. And the album unfortunately underperformed. Was this because Ashley wasn't able to overshadow her hit characters, or was the marketing flaw on behalf of Warner Brothers? Either way, Ashley Tisdale was hot on the heels of 3 major projects, including Zack and Cody Season 3, the sequel to her hit movie High School Musical, and a brand new cartoon called Phineas and Ferb. She would play Phineas and Ferb's older sister Candace, who was always trying to bust her brothers on the elaborate schemes they come up with. Ashley was now starring in 3 of the Disney Channel's highest earning properties. Her schedule was jam-packed and she was one of the busiest child stars of all time. If she wasn't at one of the multiple High School Musical DVD premieres across the globe, she was filming Zack and Cody, touring for her album, touring for High School Musical, recording for Phineas and Ferb, or recording her new album. In fact, she was so busy filming for High School Musical 2, during the 3rd season of Zack and Cody, they actually had to write her character Maddie out of the Tipton Hotel in favor of a summer camp full of a bunch of misfit children, as well as an Antarctica to save the penguins. High School Musical 2 was a tireless process full of choreography, promo, and press tours, unprecedented for a Disney Channel original movie. Until the success of the first movie, Ashley hadn't needed to really embark on much of a press tour for High School Musical, but High School Musical 2 was highly anticipated. The movie had so much momentum that when it was finally premiere night, High School Musical 2 debuted to a record-breaking 17 million viewers.
About 7.7 million people tuned into the premiere of High School Musical, a Disney Channel record.
After the wild success of High School Musical 2 being the biggest TV movie of all time, negotiations for the 3rd installment immediately began. But due to the commercial success of the franchise, Disney Channel wanted to move it off the small screen and into the movie theaters across America. This would be the only film in the franchise shown in movie theaters, and it would be a movie to remember. They returned to Utah to film the 3rd movie, and it was so highly anticipated that the entire state of Utah gave Disney a $2 million tax break incentive, the largest tax break the state of Utah has offered in the history of the United States. While they were filming, Ashley said she had a few songs ready for another album. However, she wanted to focus on High School Musical 3 first, before taking on an entire album with promo as well. The 3rd movie set a huge box office record and was now the highest earning opening weekend for a musical film, grossing over $90 million in the first 3 days in theaters. The soundtrack went number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, and the future was looking extremely bright for Ashley Tisdale. Sharpay changed the Disney Channel and the big screen forever, and Disney Channel took note of this. as they would set up Sharpay as their flagship spin-off from High School Musical, but not before she would release yet another studio album. But according to Ashley, this time she was in charge. Ashley had been teasing a big change during the various stages of promo for High School Musical, and change was coming. Ashley, however, found herself in a predicament. She was in talks with the Disney Channel for her own Disney Channel original movie spin-off, but she was also signed to Warner, who saw a major project that just ended, High School Musical, and wanted to break her out of what many called her Disney good girl image.
Warner Brothers Records for me was a place that I really, I love them and I felt like family, and they let me have a lot of creative control over both these albums. The whole message of the album is that I'm growing up. I'm 23 years old and I'm not just that Disney girl. I have another side of me.
This took form in Ashley Tisdale's sophomore studio album, Guilty Pleasure.
In a way, I know I kind of graduated from High School Musical, and I know I'm 24, but I just kind of grew up throughout the experience as well. I mean, now I'm executive producing. I have a production company called Blondie Girl Productions, so I've been really creative with, coming up with TV shows and reality shows and soon, hopefully movies. So it's definitely a different experience, but I love to work.
Now Ashley went full brunette-y and dyed her blonde hair brown, opting for songs closer to the stylings of Ashley Simpson and Avril Lavigne.
People perceive me as my character on, High School Musical, as this blonde, bubbly, cute girl, but I'm 23 years old and my original hair color is brunette, so when I dyed my hair, I felt, like a little bit more edgier, and I was just like, I need to share this with people. Like, there's a different side of me that people haven't really seen.
Now, if Ashley wasn't in the midst of her major development deal with the Disney Channel for her new original movie, the album most likely would have pushed the envelope even more. We get a hint into what that would have looked like when looking at the two bonus tracks, Blame It on the Beat, and my personal favorite song that has ever been created, Crank It Up, an alleged scrap track off the Bible of Pop, Blackout by Britney Spears. Now, this is all hearsay. However, the song mentions multiple times getting in the zone, and it sounds like a femme fatale track, so take that as you will. However, Ashley's image in the video for Crank It Up was an accelerated version of what we'd seen during the Headstrong era, and Ashley would make Disney Channel history by reverting back to her original Disney Channel image amidst her breakaway from the Disney Channel. As after Guilty Pleasure, her shattering of her Disney image, the Disney Channel would sift through the remains and attempt to piece the image back together for Sharpay's solo debut at Disney Channel original movie Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure. Now, the Disney Channel largely requires stars to behave in a very specific way, so when they leave the Disney Channel, the stars often attempt to shatter their images in extreme ways. Ashley Tisdale's punk rock album was her attempt at this, typically causing Disney to never work with the stars again. However, Sharpay was such a monumental role in the channel's history that Disney Channel executives threw every single rule they had previously followed by the wayside and collaborated with Ashley Tisdale once more, reviving her wildly popular character from High School Musical, Sharpay.
Sharpay Evans is a larger-than-life character. she's really fun to play just because she's got so much to her. And, in this movie, she's definitely the Sharpay that everybody knows from High School Musical movies, but then she starts to grow and evolve, and, she loves pink. She's a little bit spoiled. She definitely comes from a very wealthy lifestyle. It is the first time me playing this character, so she's kind of like, part of me, I guess.
With your friends, does this mean anything to them? Like, are they so over all this by now?
Yeah, because all my friends are pretty much like, they're actresses too, and actors, and they're all in the business, and there's some that I have that are not in the business, but yeah, at first it was like definitely like the paparazzi thing was a little bit crazy, and that was a little bit, hard to get used to, and for them too, just because it was just like, oh gosh, like it was like not like, oh yay, let's go to lunch with Ashley. It's like, oh geez, like there's gonna be all these people taking pictures.
How do you get used to something like that?
I don't think you ever really do. I think for me, I just kind of like started to just block it out. Just forget that they're there. Because it's just like you have to live your life like you would normally live it, so.
In making the announcement, Gary Marsh is quoted saying, "In Sharpay, Ashley Tisdale brought to life one of the most memorable comedic characters we've seen in years. This movie captures the absolute perfect next chapter in Sharpay's life as she tries to cultivate the humanity buried deep, deep within her. A challenging and hilarious endeavor." Although Ashley was taking a huge leap to the main star of the show, as Vanessa Hudgens did express interest but wasn't available, this was actually Ashley's big move to behind the scenes. films, as she acted as a director for the film as well. This was the beginning of Ashley's career as an executive producer, and this wouldn't be her last project under the Disney Corporation's umbrella. Now, the year that Phineas and Ferb tragically came to an end, Ashley Tisdale would begin serving as the executive producer on the new ABC Family, now Freeform show, Young and Hungry, starring Emily Osment from Hannah Montana. Now, Ashley only appeared on screen once to play Emily Osment's opposite during a date scene.
Actually, I have a girl crush, and I produce a show on ABC Family called Young and Hungry, and I play, I was on an episode and I play a lesbian, so I casted her right away.
Wait, there was an actress that you had a crush on?
Yeah, her name's Jessica Lowndes. She was on 90210, and so she's always been a girl crush of mine, so being a producer and a boss, I got to cast her as my girl crush, and I got to kiss her.
Really?
So that was very fun.
So
it was fun for my husband too. So.
Yeah. Also borderline creepy. I'm just gonna say what we're all thinking. You were like, yes, she appeals to me. Bring her here. You want to work? Then you will kiss me in this scene.
The show ran an impressive 5 seasons and was even supposed to get a full movie to end the storyline. However, this never happened, and the show ended on a strange note. Kinda like this video. Ashley is now super successful on YouTube and even made a return to music in 2019 with her new studio album, Symptoms. She's now married to her husband, Christopher French, and they're raising their child Jupiter together happily ever after.
But it was so funny because all I remember is we were not close. We were not good friends, let's be honest, okay? It's been 10 years. We can totally talk about this now. We hated each other. Like, I'm not kidding.
No,
but
we didn't get off on the best foot.
We didn't, but then we were all in this together. No,
Exactly.
we really, like, I think we just didn't know each other, and I think I was definitely, like, a lot like Sharpay, and it was like, Lucas, like, who is this person? And then I was just like, who is this person? And we're like playing these twins. And I have to say, like, after we wrapped, though, it was just, I don't know. I've always had a love for you. You're literally like my twin brother.
I love you too.
You're
awesome. Mr. Rogers had a great quote that said, you can learn to love anyone if you hear their story. And I think that's what it took. We just needed to live some life and go through some experiences together and learn where both of us came from. And then, you know.
That's true.
It happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.